Good morning, children. Today's lesson is going to be a revision lesson, and we are going to be looking again at identifying nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs in our own writing. We'll be very pleased to hear that we will have no writing involved today because we are going to be identifying all of these word classes in the letter which we wrote over Tuesday and Wednesday in our red lined books. So no writing today. All you will need is you will need either coloring pencils or you will need highlighters today. So let's remind ourselves, what sort of words are nouns? Children, can you remember? Very good. If you said that a noun is a naming word, you are absolutely right, because we know that a noun is a name of an object, a person, or a place. So, for example, my example of the noun is castle. Castle, it's a name of a place. What sort of a word is a verb, children? A verb. Super answers. If you said that a verb is a doing word or an action word, you are absolutely correct. Well done. And I have two examples here, running or jump. So these are both verbs or action words. The only difference is that the word running has the suffix ing. What sort of a word would be an adjective, children? What sort of a word is an adjective? Great, well done. That's right. An adjective is a describing word that describes the noun. So an adjective is a describing word that describes a noun. And my example is enormous. Enormous is an adjective because it describes a noun. Now, children, I know that many of you know this. What is the name of a phrase where we have the adjective describing the noun? Very good, an expanded noun phrase. Well done. So when we have an adjective and noun together, the adjective describes the noun, we get an expanded noun phrase, just as my adjective enormous describing the noun castle. Enormous castle. Together they form an expanded noun phrase. You are doing really, really well, children. Now, what sort of words are adverbs? Brilliant. Maybe not all of you remember this, but we have already learned that adverb describes the verb and usually ends with the suffix ly. So it's usually a word which describes the verb and ends with the ly. Now, there are different types of adverbs, but we tend to in year 2 focus on the adverbs which describe the verb and end with the suffix ly. So, for example, I have my verb crawling here, and I have the adverb secretly, which describes how the verb is done. Super revision, children. Well done. Now you will have noticed that we have used different colour for different type of word. All of these colours correspond to the colours that we use on our word wall, children, in our class. So these are the colours that we are going to be using in today's work. So blue for noun, green for verb, yellow for adjective, and red for adverb. Now, if you really would like to extend your work, you can also use brown for expanded noun phrases. So what are we going to be doing? What is our task for today? You will need your letter from the letter that you have written over the last couple of days. you will need the draft part. Obviously, the beautifully written, handwritten letter, which is ready for posting, we are not going to be doing anything to, because we would like that to be beautifully presented and posted to either your friends or your relatives. So we are going to be working with our draft in our red lined books. You will need to write today's date, Friday, 12th of February 2021, and our learning intention. I can identify nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs in my own writing. It would be good to create a little key like I have done here, children, so that it's going to be clear what colour represents which type of a word. And I'm going to be using my highlighters. And I'm going to start from the very top, children. Start with the address. Now I have my name. I know it's my pretend name, it's still a name. So what colour should I highlight it in, children? That's right, I should highlight it in blue because it is a noun. In fact, it is a proper noun. Now let's move on. Flower close. So that's the name of the road. So again, I need to highlight it in blue because it is a name of a place. Again, it is a proper noun. And then finally, in the address, friendly town is yet another proper noun. So loads of proper nouns in our address. How about the word February? What do you think? What sort of a word is it? February. Well done if you said it is a noun. And in fact, it's another proper noun because we write it with a capital letter, and we write it with a capital letter because it is the name of the month. Very good. So let's have a look at the greeting. Dear Dad. 2 words. Well, I know straight away that dad is a noun. Nothing difficult about that. How about dear? Is that a name of someone? No, it isn't. In fact, it's an adjective. It is an adjective, so I need to highlight it in yellow. Super, we're doing really well, children. Now let's have a look at my first sentence. It's been a long time since I wrote to you, so I decided to share my latest discovery with you. Because nouns are generally the easiest types of the words to identify, that's what I'm going to do first. So I'm looking for any names of people, places, or objects. Now, these are not necessarily names of objects, but they are nouns. Time is definitely a noun. And discovery would be another noun. Discovery. So they are all things. We might not be able to touch them, but they're still nouns. So I found 2 nouns. Now I'm going to move on to verbs. Verbs are going to be highlighted in green, and I remember that they are what sort of words, children? That's right, action words or doing words. Well, I can see straight away that I have a verb wrote here. And I also have a verb decided here. And I have a verb share. But there is one more verb, children, in that sentence. Can you spot it? That's right, been would also be a verb. Not quite sure why it's not highlighting the full word, children, but I'm sure that you have the idea that the whole word should be highlighted. So in fact, I have 4 verbs in just one sentence, children. Now I'm going to be looking for adjectives. And adjectives are going to be highlighted in yellow. Adjectives are words which describe nouns. And as soon as I know that, it makes it quite easy to locate all the adjectives. Because if I have a look at my nouns, I can see the adjectives straight away. Long is definitely an adjective which describes the noun time. And if I look at my second noun, discovery, I can spot my adjective straight away just before it, latest. And in fact, if I really wanted to extend myself, I could underline long time and latest discovery with Brown to show that that's an expanded noun phrase. Super. Now, do I have any adverbs in that sentence? I certainly don't have any words which end in ly, but actually I do have an adverb, and this is for those of you who really, really want to extend your knowledge, children, because the word since is actually an adverb. So I need to make sure that I highlight it in red, not yellow. So those of you who want to extend your learning, and for your reference, the word since is actually an adverb, and it's an adverb of time. Now let's have a look at my next sentence. Until recently, I wasn't even aware that we had a lifeboat station close to us. So again, I'm going to start with the nouns. I have a noun, lifeboat station. That's all a noun because it's the name of the place. Okay, now I'm going to be looking at my verbs. Verbs, so I'm going to change my highlighter to green. So any action words. Wasn't is definitely a verb, the doing word. Aware is another verb. And had is another verb. Super. Now, do I have any adjectives? Any describing words describing a noun? In fact, I don't in this sentence. I don't have any adjectives. But do I have any adverbs? So words which usually end in ly, which describe the verb. I can spot a word which ends in ly, which is in fact an adverb, recently. No, but I've highlighted it in the wrong color, didn't I? I need to make sure that I highlight it in the correct color. So recently is definitely an adverb. Now again, for those of you who would really like to extend your learning, for your reference, until is, and this is where things go pear-shaped, never mind. Right, until is also an adverb because it's an adverb of time, just like since is an adverb of time and recently, and also close would be an adverb, and it's an adverb of place, children. But I don't want you to worry too much about these types of adverbs because the important part of our learning in Year 2 is to be able to identify adverbs of manner, which usually describe the verb and end with the suffix ly. But this is just for the reference for those of you who really like to extend your learning and realize that there are other types of adverbs, such as adverbs of time and place, which we have here. So your task today, children, is going to be revise these 4 types of words that we have learned about, and then have a go at highlighting your letter just like I have done. Again, I'm not going to highlight the whole letter now because the video would be very, very long, but I am sure you get the idea of what you need to do. Now, some of you will be thinking, oh my goodness, this is a lot of work and I'm not sure whether I'd be able to do this. That's absolutely fine. For those of you who are thinking, okay, that's a lot to do, what you need to do as a minimum is try to focus on identifying nouns and verbs in sentences. Now, great majority of you would be able to easily identify nouns, verbs, and adjectives. And there are some of you who I know will be thinking, okay, well, we do like a challenge. We do like to extend our learning and really would like to have a go at identifying all 4 types of words, including the adverbs. So please adapt this task to your ability, children. Don't make this task too strenuous, but make it just challenging enough so that it's not going to be too easy and that you are going to be learning something new and you're going to be practicing the skill of identifying at least 2 of these types of words. So again, no writing, just a lot of highlighting and colouring, children, today. Bye for now.